This video is basically gonna be about this deck, the Japanese Myth Full Tarot deck. And this is a deck that I got from last summer, around 2024 summer. I got it in Tokyo Tarot Museum. And why I'm doing this, because I've had other tarot decks. Most of the time, because it has English guidebooks, I pretty much can connect with it. Even if I don't read the guidebooks, I pretty much can connect with it. But I found that with this one specifically, this deck has been baffling me. Why? That's because most of the characters here are based on Japanese mythologies, very heavy in Shintoism. So unless and until you are familiar with the stories, with the characters, they're probably not gonna be making sense, even though it's based on the Rider-Waite-Smith framework. But I feel like I need to understand who these people are so that it hits me, right? And maybe pretty much my inner nerd come out as well. So what I have done, I'll search online and see if there are any other creators who have done a more comprehensive review on this one, apart from just some flip through videos. And I couldn't find any. So because I couldn't find any, and then the guidebooks is written in Japanese, and I found that, okay, this is not gonna be enough. So lo and behold, I decided to embark on the translation project. The project did help me understand the essence of the card, the story of the cards as well, because they are telling about the creation of Japan with Izanagi and Izanami as the main characters. And then we've got the tale of Susanoo for the suit of wands. And then we've got the tale of Konohanasakuya Hime for the suit of cups, tale of Okuninushi for the pentacles, and then the tale of Yamato Takeru for the suit of sword. So yeah, it makes sense. Like, now that after understanding who these characters are, what are their stories, then the whole thing makes sense. By the way, I also want to emphasize that this deck is authored by Yamamoto Naoki sensei. So it's not something that I made, but I thought like it's a great way to study it. And the project itself develops not just for translating the guidebook, but it becomes more of what I interpret based on the cards as well, and because it has a bit more nuanced symbolism, and that's how I end up approaching the project itself. So there you go. I also did a bit of a reading using the cards toward the end of the video, and if you are curious on where to get this deck, it's probably going to be mostly available in Japan. It's in the author's website or amazon.co.jp, as well as Tokyo Tarot Museum itself. If you have this deck, I hope you enjoyed as well. Let me know in the comment how's your experience with this, and then yeah, I'll see you around again next time. This is the deck. Like this was from this box. This is the back side, if you can see this. To me, this reminds me of if you follow Cardcaptor Sakura anime, and this feels very much like that. Not just the design, but also even the size of the cards itself. It feels like that. I wouldn't talk too much about the material because it's a bit bendy, like it's a bit thin, but it's a kind of glossy in terms of material. It took a while to get used to shuffle, but I think I kind of get used to it. I feel like this card is kind of made to be like shuffle, like spread like this, and then you take one. But anyway, like everyone has their own preferences. So we'll start with the major arcana, which is the Fool. So this one here we get Susanoo. So this is Susanoo. He's going to the palace to meet his sister Amaterasu, and as if like he's going into a journey, like the start of the journey. But what he doesn't know is that, like you can see here, he's dressing very casually for the royalty deity. Technically, he is a royalty. And then there are, I'm not sure if this is visible, but there's lots of soldiers. Like there are soldiers guarding the palace, as if because Amaterasu here, she's here. She thinks that he is going there to rebel or make some problems. But he was like so casual. Like, okay, I'll just go there. Anyway, that's that. And then we've got the Magician. Oh, in this deck, so what Yamamoto Sensei did, there are some double cards, same cards like the Magician cards, but two different versions. And frankly speaking, the only difference here would be just the meaning, like this, the design. No, sorry, not the meaning, but the design, and depending on how you interpret it, how you want to interpret it. Otherwise, you can use it however you want. Like maybe this time you want to use this card, or the next time you want to use this card. I prefer this one though. I'll tell you why. Because this one here, we've got Ame no Uzume. So this is one of the deity, the goddess of dance, you could say. She is holding the mirror to lure Amaterasu out when she was in hiding. So, I mean, there's still the four elements, the sword, and then the wand, the mirror. I'll tell you why it's not cup, but it's a mirror. And then there's the Magatama, also known as Pentacles. So all of the four suits. I like it just because it's the mirror here. There's the lemniscate symbol, like in the infinity symbol, and it's facing toward us, the reader, and it feels like mirroring our own unlimited potential. So that's why I like this one. But this one here, this is Amaterasu herself, just to show like there's these three weaving girls, and she was in some sort of a competition with Susanoo, and just to show her power, her skill as a manifester. So she manifested these three weaving girls, and you can also see they were holding the three suits, the Magatama, and this deck it's the Pentacles, and then the mirror for the cups, and then the staff. Even Amaterasu herself is holding the sword. I mean, it depends on your preference. So that's the Magician. Then we got the High Priestess. The High Priestess here, this is Tamayori Hime. Tamayori Hime is one of the goddess of the ocean, you could say. And we've got we've got Izanami as the Empress. And this is Izanagi as the Emperor. Basically, between Izanagi and Izanami, both are the father and mother figure of Japan island. So that's why they were put as the Empress, because she's the one who's give birth. And then there's the Emperor. I cover more of this in the Substack, that the guide that I wrote. So I put the link in the description. And here we have the Hierophant. The Hierophant here, this is Omoikane. Omoikane is one of the wise god that every deities are consulting when Amaterasu went to hiding in the cave, and then the world is fallen into darkness, and they don't know what to do. So basically, he told them what needs to be done. So this is Ame no Uzume from the Magician card, and then this is the Tajikarao from the Strength card later on, as you will see, and on what to do for this particular situation. So yeah, like the classic RWS card, these two are like the supplicants, and he's the guy that give directions. Then we've got the lovers themselves. This is between Izanami, Izanagi, and the figure here is the Ame no Minakanushi. Yeah. So basically, they are the soul deity, like the very first deity of creation that represent the god, or like the creator that started the very first marriage. And this is the bridge, and then the pillar where they will do their ritual, their marriage ritual. Then we've got the Chariot. This is, oh my god, what was his name again? Hang on a second. I forgot his name. So we've got Takemikazuchi. This is Takemikazuchi, also sometimes known as the god of war. There are some versions where he was also has a similar role with Futsunushi later on in the Key 11. But in here, it's more about the guy, the deity that will do, like, symbolizing willpower, or like the enforcer, you would say. Tajikarao from the Strength card. Instead of the normal, the usual strength representation of one young woman and then with a lion, the author goes with the traditional meaning of strength, of a masculine physical strength,
but the emphasis here is the part where strength doesn't have to be shown in a flashy way, but shown in a more subdued way, only when you need it. Because that's what Tajikarao as deity is. Like, he doesn't show off, he just uses his strength as and when it's needed. So you see, like, there are different interpretation, and that's why you feel like unless I understand who they are, like, it's gonna be difficult to get into the heart of the card, I would say. Then we got, oh my god, what's his name again? So we've got Sarutahiko as the hermit. He's supposed to be like a solitary figure, but then he showed up to help the retinue of the heavenly grandson to show the way, basically. Then we've got the Wheel of Fortunes, which we've got 2 cards. And the difference between these 2 cards are very subtle. One is moon based, like lunar cycle based, and here we've got the feminine and then the masculine version of Tsukuyomi, which is the moon deity. And we've got a daily cycle between Amaterasu, who is the sun deity, and the moon version, and with the moon, basically, like daylight turns into night time with Tsukuyomi. Again, depends on your preference which one you would go to. Like, do you prefer more of a day cycle, or do you prefer a lunar cycle? Then we've got Futsunushi, which is in the Justice card, and this is also he's also known as the deity of sword. Then we've got the Hangman. This is Izanagi purifying himself after he went to the underworld to visit Izanami. The order of the card, it follows the RWS, but the stories that are portrayed here kind of jumps between like chronologically, I guess, because the author just wants to show how it fits to the card, to the RWS system, rather than the chronological order of the mythologies itself. Because see, after that we've got the Death card, and this was supposed to be like before, but anyway, because this is just to show the transformation of Izanami, the goddess Izanami from Empress, who become after her death, she became the queen of the underworld. Then this is the Temperance card. Temperance with Kikurihime as the negotiation deity, basically the negotiation deity between Izanagi and Izanami. So that's why, like, she's shown as the archetype for the temperance to balance things out. Then we've got the Devil. In here, we've got Hi no Kagotsuchi, which is the deity of fire. And it so happens that when Izanami gave birth to this deity, accident happened. And she got burned, and that's how she died. And Izanagi, who got angry about it, he technically cut his head, like, Kagotsuchi's head off. And that's, like, yeah, kind of separation through attachment in a way, and through anger and whatnot. I wouldn't say this deity as evil. It's just more of showing the underlying emotion or attachments that happen between these two. Then we move again to the part where Izanagi was in the underworld, where he visited Izanami. Think of it, okay, like this: like, it was dark, and then he can hear the voice of Izanami, and then, like, hey, can I see you? And she said, yeah, but give me some time. I need to prepare. Don't peek. And after some time, Izanagi got curious, so he peeked, of course, and he saw the decayed body of Izanami, and he got scared. She was surprised. She got angry because I told you not to peek, and why are you peeking? So she started to chase him out, and all of this through the chase, there are other periods, and even the 8 thunderbolts here was born because of the chase. And that's why the author chose to show this as the Tower card, because even the Tower card in the classic RWS has the thunder aspect. It's to show, like, something change. Like, oh, it's a change that you can't go back. You can't go back to the way it was before. And the change is sudden, abrupt. That's because that's what happened here. Like, since then, the relationships are no longer the same. Then we've got the stars. Again, 2 cards here. And who are these deities? Let's start with this one first. This is Amatsumi Kaboshi. He's more of a lone star, and he doesn't really conform with the other deities. And because he's a star, he's a lone star, so he shines brighter. The other deities starts to get threatened by his presence. The other deities sent Futsunushi and Takemikazuchi to subdue him, but they could not. So what happened is that this deity here, which is, what's his name? What's her name? Takehazuchi is the deity of weaving, and also associated with the bamboos. What she did is she created some fabrics and then wrapped, what's his name again? She wrapped Amatsumi Kaboshi in that rainbow thread. That's why you can see here, like there's a rainbow, the 7 colors of rainbows, and put him on as a star again. And this is how she subdued him. And why she becomes the star is because of the hope that she presented. The hope when even the mightiest of gods and deities could not do, but she could do it. And like for me personally though, I like using this one here because more like showing as a rebel, standing out despite of the others not approving of him, but he still shines his light as a star. To be okay to show up as yourself. That's how I would interpret it. Not to say that she's nice also, just a different vibe, I would say. Then we got the moon. We got the moon cards. This is the masculine and then the feminine version. One is representing new moon and the other represents full moon. According to the guidebook though, the full moon version is much more symbolizing like purity, innocence, like how Amaterasu is, while the new moon version seems more like kind of like has this nuance of being scheming, of he hiding something, kind of like a new moon, right? Like something is not being revealed yet. Again, choose whichever you want to use. And for the sun, of course, we've got Amaterasu herself as the sun deity. Judgment. This is the only card out of the major arcana cards that is more relevant to the mortal. I guess the focus here is the crow. This is the 8th. What was this thing called again? So the Japanese name is Yatagarasu, which is the 8th something crone. No, the 8 eyes. I think that's what it was like. He had 8 eyes, but basically he had three. He had three claws. He had 3 claws, and he is like a divine messenger for Emperor Jinmu in his conquest in the east. And he's like the crow is just showing basically you know the story of, okay, we need an epiphany, are we winning or not? And then the messenger comes like, move forward, it's okay, you'll be fine. That's the nuance of this judgment card. Then we've got the last one of the major arcana, which is the world. The world here, we've got Ame no Minakanushi, and then the other 4 creation deities that we will cover later in the minor arcanas. Then we've got Izanagi, Izanami, holding the heavenly jeweled sphere. This is just to show that when both deities came together, they are complete, which is what the world card is for. It means completion, and this is the beginning of the world, like the creation of the world, as you can see even with all of the creation deities in this deck. Okay, so next we're going to go with the minor arcana. So we will start with the Suit of Wands, which tells us the tale of Susanoo. As the Ace of Wands here, this is the one you can see from the world deity, one of the creation deities. This is the lady or the deity, you could say. I'll get ready for this. The name is Umashashikabi Hikochi. One of those deities that unless you search into the encyclopedia of Shintoism, then you probably would not hear about them. But anyway, that symbolizes Ace of Wands. Then we start with Susanoo himself. This is after he got banished to the earth, basically. So he started his journey. He's holding a scroll, like as if like, okay, this is the map. Where should I go next? Three of Wands. This is Amaterasu, supposedly when she is in hiding in the cave. And we got here 3 wands, 1, 2, 3, forming some sort of like a window. Think of it like a astral projection type of window where she is watching over Susanoo, like on the bridge here. You can see more on the spirit of watching over, then wait and see type of thing. But at least according to the interpretation, she does it more out of like sisterly love. They are sisters, sister and brother, by the way, along with Tsukuyomi. But yeah, that's 3 of Wands, and now we go to the 4 of Wands, and this is a celebration because they finally managed to get Amaterasu out of the cave, and then the world would become brighter again. It was dark because the sun is hiding. And if you remember from the very first card of the Magician, we've had Ame no Uzume with the mirror, and this is her holding the mirror, but this time we become her, Ame no Uzume, and then you can see briefly the hand of Tajikarao as well. Then that's Amaterasu. Now we continue our story to Susanoo himself. He met with a family of an elderly deities, which basically sad because they had to sacrifice their youngest daughter Kushinada Hime to the Yamatai no Orochi, the snakes here. But Susanoo, being the hero, like, don't worry, we will get I'll handle that for you. And then they'll be like, okay, that's great, we will marry Kushinada Hime to you. So that's what this is about, the 5 of Wands. 6 of Wands, traditionally it's about victory, but this one here more of Susanoo believing that, okay, I've got a strategy to face Yamatai no Orochi. So he prepared 6 barrels. Is it 6 barrels? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 barrels because there are 8 heads of Yamatai no Orochi. So he prepared that, and then he transformed Kushinada Hime into a comb, and he have it with him all the time. So this is more like the victory is not there yet, but he's sure on the way to the victory because of all of this strategy. Then we've got the 7 of Wands, where he implemented the strategy itself. You can see here two heads at 2, 1, 2. While the other remaining heads, they drank the sake, and then of course they got drunk, and they couldn't do anything. So it's just Susanoo facing the other 2. Of course, they won. Susanoo won, slain the Taino Orochi, and then he got a treasure, the sword, the Kusanagi sword. So now he with Kusinada Hime, they embark on the journey to find their own home. This is 8 of Wands. You can see here like 8 wands are being carried with the birds. Then 9 of Wands, Susanoo arriving in a place where he felt like, okay, this is where we can build our houses. So there's 4 wands in each side, and 1 where he's holding it himself. I would say like the stairs are like, okay, just a little bit more until we're done, because there's one more thing that he needs to do, which is making peace with Amaterasu, because of the troubles he caused that made Amaterasu got frustrated, annoyed, and banished him, and then she hid herself in the cave. He decided to give the Kusanagi sword from the Yamatai no Orochi that he slain as a peace offering to Amaterasu. Throughout the suit, you can also see the progression of his characters, where in the very beginning, he dressed in the full, at least in the full card, he dressed very casually, but now he dressed more like in a formal robe as per his designation as the deity of storm. Then with Page of Wands, we've got one of Susanoo's daughters, Ukano Mitama. She's mostly affiliated with the Inari Jinja, which is why there's an Inari here. Inari here is like the fright tofu, the fried skin tofu, with kitsune, which is a fox. And this is more about how Page of Wands is the youthful energy of creativity, of doing your own thing, but also like approach it in a playful way. Then we've got here Knight of Wands, which is Susanoo when he's about to face Yamatai no Orochi, because you can see here the wand where there's the comb that is Kushinada Hime. Then we've got Kushinada Hime herself as the Queen of Wands, just to show her as the graceful women, or you can say in Japanese, there's the saying of Yamato Nadeshiko, more like elegant, graceful type of women. Then, as the climax of the Suit of Wands, we've got Susanoo as the deity of storm himself, after undergoing all of the journey, the trials and tribulations, as the King of Wands. So that's the Suit of Wands. Now we continue to the Suit of Pentacles, or in this deck particularly, it's known as the Magatama. Magatama here is this teardrop-like jewel, and it was pretty common jewelry, something that represent wealth back in the ancient Japan. There's also another reason why the pentacles go first, because this one here tells the story of Okuninushi. Izanagi and Izanami creates the Japanese archipelago. It was Okuninushi who built and cultivate the land that becomes Japan, and then Japanese people itself. So think of it more like the founding father per se. And as for the deity, this is Ame no Tokotachi. Ame no Tokotachi. But yeah, it's an interesting concept where instead of just a invisible, just a hand out of a cloud, Yamamoto Sensei choose to portray a deity, like one of the creation deities themselves, as one of the aces. This is more like, think of it like a gift. Think of it like as in this case, a gift for wealth and abundance and prosperity for humans. Two of Pentacles. Here we've got young Okuninushi. Back then his name is still Onamuchi. Onamuchi is he embarked on a journey to help his 80 brothers to carry their suits. Yeah, I mean, like a page boy. Think of it like a page boy, basically. He's holding the two magatamas, and playing around with it just to balance it, even though there are sharks behind. So it's more like having this playful, being able to balance his task and still being playful about it. As the journey progresses, they met the white rabbit of Inaba, who got hurt because he tricked the sharks, basically. And what happened was that the 80 brothers of Onamuchi gave the rabbit a wrong antidote. It's basically he got tricked. Yet it was Onamuchi who gave the rabbit a more suitable antidote, and it helps the rabbit recover. So he told him that the princess that the 80 brothers are going on the journey for, she will choose to marry Onamuchi instead of the other 80. And that's actually what happened. So, of course, the 80 brothers, as symbolized by this one deity here, but this is basically like, it means the 80 brothers, got jealous, got annoyed, frustrated with Onamuchi. So, as you can see here, his face is a bit like annoyed, frustrated, and he's holding to the 4 treasures, the 4 magatamas, as if like, no, these are mine. Like, how come the princess Yagami Hime chose to marry this young Onamuchi? And so that's because of this, they killed Onamuchi, basically, which leads us to the 5 of Pentacles. This is Onamuchi himself died. His mother asked for the help of these 2 deities to revive Onamuchi. Once he got revived and he got a bit older, but then he got killed again with the brothers. So the second time he died, and then he got revived again. But this time he went to Susanoo's palace to receive refuge and help. So yeah, think of it like twice he got killed by his own brothers. I guess family drama. And in here though, like the chronological order is a bit disturbed because now we have Six of Pentacles, but this is more about the Onamuchi who has grown up. He has already become Okuninushi, but we will go there later on. We'll just focus on this one. This is Six of Pentacles, where the grown-up Onamuchi met with this petite deity called Sukuna Bikona. Instead of the wealth, instead of the material wealth, what they gave was knowledge, wisdom that is needed for older Onamuchi to become a leader. So this is more like a charity, but more like a sharing wisdom, knowledge exchange type of thing. Then we've got the Seven of Pentacles. This is, at that time, he already become Okuninushi. Still the same person, just name change. Where Sukuna Bikona said that, okay, you know what? You've learned what you can from me, and this is okay, time for me to go. And it's just himself, and he's studying, but then also wondering if he is enough to lead, to do his mission of becoming the founding father of Japan, basically. And that's what the Seven of Pentacles are for. Then, time-wise, we're gonna move back. Remember that after he got revived for the second time, Onamuchi went to Susanoo for refuge. So that's what he did. And in there, he met Suseri Hime, which is the lady from the Nine of Pentacles. Suseri Hime here is one of Susanoo's children. And think of it like a princess. And of course, she likes Onamuchi, and he also likes her. But then Susanoo becomes more like, oh, okay, you can't marry my daughter. You know what? You can stay in the night. But then he gave him a trial. Like, he stayed in a room where there are snakes, there are bees or wasps, and the spirit of Eight of Pentacles, which is of resilience, patience, testing one's patience basically, but like staying peace at it. Then, of course, Sarihime, being a resourceful princess that she is, wouldn't stay quiet. So she gave Onamuchi some help to overcome the trials, which leads them to the Ten of Pentacles, where he managed to make Susanoo asleep. And then he carried some of the treasures and take Suseri Hime out himself, which is why she was like, bye to the... it's here very small. I don't know if you can see it, but it's very small. I would think like this is Susanoo. And Ten of Pentacles, this is the start of a legacy. This is the start of a dynasty of what would become the Japan, and then the founding family. This is when Susanoo gave the name Okuninushi to Onamuchi. And in Japanese itself, Okuninushi means the lord of the land. And as the dynasty grows, more children, and this is Kotoshiro Nushi, which is one of the Page of Pentacles, because even though he's young, but he is wise enough when Amaterasu's messengers from the heaven came down and say, hey, you know what? This is time for my grandson to take over the land. Before Kotoshiro Nushi, the others were like, no, we're gonna fight about it, and then of course they lost. So this time he said, you know what, to Okuninushi, like, I think it's best that we give the land and then let us live in peace. But then of course, like, we want to be known for something as well, for the contribution to found the land itself. So that's why he is a Page of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. This is a bit different from the normal ones, because the classic Knight of Pentacles have a bit more of a subdued, but this one here is the brother of Kotoshiro Nushi, which means that he is also one of Okuninushi's children. And what was his name again? Hang on a second, what was his name? Takeminakata. I would say that he is a Knight of Pentacles because of his loyalty, his single-mindedness of not giving the land up to the heaven retinues. And then he even challenged them for a fight, which he lost, but then he sworn to protect the land. So he ran away. Because he lost, he ran away. And then he swore to, okay, you know what, I'm not gonna go back to the land where he was from, but I'm gonna protect the land that he now he is in. So think of it more like the dedication, the loyalty to a cause. Now we've got two Queen of Pentacles. Remember that in the early days, there's a princess that chose to marry Onamuchi, which is called Yagami Hime, and this is she. So she is the first wife of Okuninushi. But then when he met Suseri Hime becomes the main wife, the primary wife, and she is known to be a jealous deity. So much that even Yagami Hime got scared. So after she gave birth, so she put the baby into a tree, and then she left. She went back to her hometown. Think of it. And in the guidebooks, both of the meanings are similar. Like the Queen of Pentacles, like Yagami Hime's melancholy and Suseri Hime's melancholy. But the only difference here is that in here we've got the white rabbit of Inaba that Okuninushi's held. And this is more similar to the classic Queen of Pentacles, more of like a nurturing, but then they also have an allies here. While in Suseri Hime's case, we're seeing here as the embodiment of someone who is capable, someone who is resourceful, but she's on her own. She's on her own because it turns out that Okuninushi is a womanizer. He used to go out to other wives, other women's, women, female deities basically, and this is her like waiting for him to come home. So each woman has their own difficulties. Then we've got King of Pentacles, which is Okuninushi himself, just to show that the progression from the young person, from the young deity into the founding father of Japan, like of a dynasty. So that is the Suit of Pentacles. Now we go to the Suit of Cups, but in this case, it's mirror, like a water mirror instead of cups, just because a water mirror used to be used a lot back then in Japan to show as a mirror, but also as because water is associated with the suit, and it kind of reflects back not just our physical appearance but also our emotional depth. So we've got here is Takami Musubi as one of the creation deities, and this is the story of Konohanasakuya. Konohanasakuya is this lady here, which is kind of like one of the beauties in ancient Japan, meeting the heavenly grandson Ninigi, which is apparently Amaterasu's grandson. This is him after descending to earth, and then he met her, and they were like, "Oh, I like you guys. Like we like each other." Think of it like a destined encounter. I wrote more about that on the Substack, by the way, so have a read on it. And then followed by Three of Cups. This is Konohanasakuya Hime consulting with her family, which is father and then sister Iwanaga Hime, and the father is Oyamatsumi. He's like the deity of mountains, more like a Mount Fuji mountain. And about this whole news, and of course they're happy, but we don't know about Iwanaga Hime because her back is toward us. But this is more like think of it like a celebration type of joy. Then Oyamatsumi proposed to Ninigi, like, okay, like you can marry my daughter Konohanasakuya Hime, but also you might want to marry Iwanaga Hime as well, so you can take both sisters. But Ninigi, being the hot-blooded man he is, he would say, yeah, you know what, I don't want. Like, I just want Konohanasakuya Hime because she's beautiful, like portrayed by the sakura flowers. She's beautiful, but then he was the father was like, beauty is great, but it's not long lasting, it's transient. Might as well as take Iwanaga Hime because she's represent the rock. Rock is maybe very plain, maybe not as beautiful as flowers, but it's very resilient and long lasting. But yeah, again, Ninigi was like, nah, no, I'm good, thank you, no thank you. So then we see here in Five of Cups, this is Iwanaga Hime, who are so upset because she got rejected. She got jealous because you see here that there are two mirrors that are already broken, and she's now holding a third one, and it's reflecting the reflection of a Hanya demon which is a demon of a woman who got jealous, but then she didn't see that there are two remaining mirrors available, that she, even though physically she may not be as beautiful as her sister, but she herself has her own beauty. And thus, as she, in her journey, Iwanaga Hime become nostalgic, and she remember the times when she and Konohanasakuya Hime are children, and things are very innocent at the time, which is why it's a Six of Cups. But don't worry, Iwanaga Hime she has her own, she got married later on with another deity, so all is not as bleak as that. So think of it more like a happy ending for her. Now let's get back to Konohanasakuya Hime. So they got married with Ninigi, and after a night, think of it like, I think it's just a night, she got pregnant, and then Ninigi was like, yo, we just got married and you already got pregnant, are you sure these children are mine? So basically he is accusing her of he's doubting the heritage of the children, and she was like, if these children are not yours, they are gonna get burned. So that's what this is all about. So she gave birth in a burning hut. The children survive, of course, being like real children of Ninigi, but it's just showing, like, if you see here the seven mirrors, I would think of it more like the illusions or the possibilities that got burned away because of what Ninigi said to her, which leads to the Eight of Cups. This is Konohanasakuya Hime being, I don't want to be treated that way, I deserve better, so I'm gonna leave this. She went back to her father's place, Oyamatsumi. Rather than showing her leaving a place physically, this is more of her resolving it emotionally. You can see here, she's sitting in a withered tree. Like, it's a sakura, like this is a bit of sakura, but just to show the exhaustion of the sakura tree before it can bloom again. Then as time goes by, she had 3 children. This is one of them, Hori. So she is the deity of mountain, and then he has another brother called Hoderi, which is the deity for fishing. One time, they decided to swap the tools. So being a mountain deity, Hori used the fishing pole of his brother, and he lost the fishing rod. So he went to embark on a journey to retrieve the fishing rod, which brings him to the realm of the ocean, and he met with Toyotama Hime, and they fall in love, and then they decided to get married, which is, you can see here, there's a rainbow inside, reflected on the mirrors, just to show that this is the bridging between the earth and the ocean realm. So happy families, right? 10 of Cups, usually happy family. Well, we think so, but then Toyotama Hime is about to give birth, and she told Hori, look, please don't look at me as I give birth. And he was like, yeah, okay, sure. But out of curiosity, it reminds me like about the other story before, but like, so he picked, his curiosity got the better of him, so he picks, and then he sees a shark giving birth. So as an ocean, like as the princess of the ocean realm, her true form is the shark. So he was like, oh wow, it's a shark. And she was angry. She left the son, like the baby that she gave birth to, and then she just vanished. We don't know what happened to her, but she just vanished. So what happened is that their son got raised by her sister, Tamayori Hime, which was in the minor arcana is the high priestess. Very drama, full of drama, yeah. Anyway, so that's a Page of Cups, what the Page of Cups is about. Then Knight of Cups, we see Ninigi on his horse. If you think that Knight of Cups is a romantic type of knight, I would say, yeah, it fits with Ninigi just because he came down and then he met Konohanasakuya, oh, pretty women, and then I want to marry you straight away. So I guess there's that element. Now, going back to Konohanasakuya Hime as the Queen of Cups, she is motherly, she's nurturing, very in touch with her emotions. Now she is giving a duty to watch over the Mount Fuji area. So she's more like a protector deity of the area where Mount Fuji is. Then we've got the father of the deck. This is what I would say, father of the deck, Oyamatsumi. Because you see here, behind him, like this is wavy, stormy areas, stormy ocean. So even though it's a difficult time, here we've got father figure, the king figure that's steady and can handle the situation, but still warm enough and nurturing enough to let her daughter come back safely. So that is Suit of Cups, and we got to the last one, which is the Suit of Swords. This is one of the creation deity again, which is Kami Musubi. And this is the tale of Yamato Takeru, which is one of the heroes, like ancient heroes in Japan, well known for his power, his strength, but also ferocity. Whether it's in a good way or not, I feel like it's more that people are afraid of him, kind of like that. So this is the moment where Yamato Takeru's brother was tasked to conquer a land and present the two princesses to his father, Emperor Keiko. But instead of that, he took these two princesses for himself, which is why he was like holding the two swords between duty, loyalty to his father, but also to his own heart, between two decisions. So Emperor Keiko was like, I'm not having any of this. So he told Yamato Takeru to go and punish his brother. But what happened instead is that he killed his brother. This guy here. And Emperor Keiko was like, dude, I didn't tell you to kill him, just punish him. And he was like, oh, what have I done? Like he's heartbroken. That's why there's three swords in his heart. He's covering his heart. In his vulnerable moment, he still chooses loyalty. He's still like, okay, like what can he do? But because of that, Emperor Keiko become afraid of him, become afraid of his strength, power, or like somehow couldn't, because he couldn't follow instructions, you could say, or he followed too much that he got scared. So he sent him away to conquer another enemy away. And this is Yamato Takeru resting in Ise as Four of Swords, which is what Four of Swords is about. Now in the Five of Swords, this is Yamato Takeru disguising himself as a woman with the kimono that we saw here to subdue the enemy. And this is Kumaso Takeru. He succeeds, of course, and since then Yamato Takeru's name become well known and people are afraid of him. Not just the emperor, but other people are afraid of him. This is as a Six of Swords. He's embarking on another journey to a different land. This is the part where he was like, people try to kill him, so he embarks to another land. Even during this journey, he wonders if his own father is trying to kill him or not. And we have here the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is the time where we see enemies of Yamato Takeru is sneaking his swords out. Basically, because they're afraid of him, they want to subdue him. It kind of worked because there's a time where in Eight of Swords, Yamato Takeru got surrounded with the enemies, as with the fiery swords here, but he prevails. Like he got out of it, even though he has a blindfolded. Then in one journey, he took a boat, and his wife, Oto Tachibana Hime, had to sacrifice herself to make the ocean become calmer so that Yamato Takeru can travel safer. He got haunted. He felt guilty about it, and this is him anxious at night as the Nine of Swords. Then toward the end, as a Ten of Swords, he went to a mission to subdue one deity, like a mountain deity. He got injured, and because of that, he passed away. This is the deity, and as he passed away, his spirit turns into a bird. So it's showing like a burden, but then also that's the end of it. Like things seems bleak, but it's starting to get brighter again, because this is like a new beginning with him as a bird. As Page of Swords, this is young Yamato Takeru. Then this is Yamato Takeru as Knight of Swords, more after his deception as a woman. Then this is also more of the part of him that is more like masculine, more masculine and more action oriented. For Queen of Swords, this is Miyazuhime, which is one of Yamato Takeru's wives. After his death, she enshrined the sword, the Kusanagi sword that Yamato Takeru has. She dedicates her life on protecting the sword in a shrine and to lead the people, basically. And we can also see the bird that was Yamato Takeru's spirit from the Ten of Swords. Then King of Swords, we've got Emperor Keiko, which is Yamato Takeru's own father. And here we see him more as I don't want to say ruthless, not ruthless, but more of an authoritarian type of king, and very intellectual. So I would imagine that this is a strategic king that thinks using his mind to rule rather than his own emotions or the other aspect. But yes, so that is flip through the Japanese Myth Tarot deck. So I guess after this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a reading. So I have already shuffled these cards and then took out the double cards, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna try to give a reading, because ultimately the reason why I started the project was to be able, like, think of it more like a deepening my connections to the card, but then also hopefully it can be useful for non-Japanese readers, non-Japanese speakers to be able to understand and connect better with the cards. Anyway, I'm gonna go with one card reading. So let's say for you who are viewing this today, what is the advice? What's advice? What kind of advice for our viewer that's watching this right now? Okay, we'll take this one. The Fool. So we've got Susanoo himself as he's embarking to a new journey. So probably if you're watching this, all new journeys or new endeavors, everything new, there will be risk that we may know of or we may not know of. But the call here is to keep moving, and if that is something that you can do to prepare or to understand yourself, and that's okay. That'd be great. But if it's something that's you don't know yet, things that you don't know yet, and you're not sure how to handle that situation, it's okay being a beginner. I'll say that again. It's okay to be a beginner, and it's okay to not know everything. As with Susanoo here, yes, he's like very casual, and then like turns out that there are soldiers in front of him, and turns out that Amaterasu is not think that he is going to rebel, yet he still keeps going, and he has to face ups and downs, but toward the end he reached to his own conclusion. There's a personal growth there. So coming back to this card, it's okay being a beginner, a newbie, and embrace that part, embrace that identity. It's not going to be like a long-term identity. It's being okay with not knowing everything, because we are still learning. So I hope that advice, I hope that is useful for you. If that is the case, please let me know on the comment. I would like to hear what's coming up for you.